Hey folks, I've been trying to find a bit of information on the net regarding the 1929 Hupmobile Century 6 Series A. I haven't found much. Lots of Model A and T's, and lots of Ford and Dodge and Chrysler, but anyway, not much Hupmobile. So I thought I would make videos of my one as I'm progressing through. I wouldn't call it a restoration, just a tidy up, because the car is reasonably tidy. We've had it for a week now and had ongoing issues with the engine. Being what it is, sat for such a long time. You know, it's done like 500 miles in 5 years. So, and our problem was that we were dealing with poor idling, rattling in the engine, and seriously underpowered. So we tried carburetor, then progressed timing and bits and pieces, and at the end of the day, I ended up doing a compression test, and 3 cylinders were not looking good at all. And we progressed to removing the head. Unfortunately, I didn't actually, this is the car. So she's a New Zealand, and we're in New Zealand, obviously, here. So the artillery wheels. So we sort of didn't really think about taking a video, but now we've started on moving the head. So what we did, to take a step back a bit, we made a tool up, which is this piece here, which is an old spark plug. I'll put it here so you can see it. An old spark plug, and then we took the guts out and put a fitting in it, and then put an air fitting on it. And then what we did was, when we had the head, this is the head by the way, we put it on TDC, took the valve covers off and make sure we can see the valves, and we put this fitting into it, TDC, compressed air, and we had compression bypassing, like coming out of this hole here, so it was leaking between. So we progressed, and I first thought it might have been a type valve, maybe valve seats or something, but it ended up being a head gasket blowout between here and here. This is a bit mangled because the studs were seizing the head. It was starting to bypass in other areas. Now, this is the old head gasket that came with the car, and it's had blowouts here as well. So it's really telling me that the head's probably warped, or worst scenario, the block, which, well, not worst scenario, but it means engine out. So anyway, we removed the head, found quite a bit of coolant. Like, you wouldn't have known it. Like, it ran all right, like it wasn't bad, but definitely there's corrosion on the block here from there. So the valves are good, and they are stainless valves. So I'm gonna relap these valves and pull them out, relap them, clean all this up. And we did have a bad head stud here. It's threads. I don't know if you can see it there. The thread is bad, and so there was 2. I think that one and this one here was bad. So we did have problems with head torque. Not blaming that, but could be. So really, new studs. Clean this up as well as we can. The bores are okay, like they're not horrible. There's a bit of discoloration in them, obviously from water and such, from that cylinder head gasket leaking. So we'll maybe give it a home, but I don't really want to touch it too much because I don't want to get stuff down the rings and get the sticky rings. Clean the sides. So we took this valve covers off. Now, they are actually doable with the manifolds on, but really you can't see what you're doing, really. Like, if you're going to go the trouble of setting tappets, the clearances, then I strongly suggest remove the manifold gasket. We're getting the gaskets made in New Zealand here at Bay of Plenty Gaskets. He's an older fella and he does a good job, and I'm getting 2 of everything made. I'm going to get 2 head gaskets made, 2 inlet manifold exhaust gaskets made. These side cover here are cork, so we can just make them out of our own material. And you kind of just do it and you know it's done properly, you know where you're at. Now, we've also got a problem with backlash in the timing to it. It's got a funny tickling sound in it, which I thought was a tappet noise. It wasn't. I've checked the tappets, they're good clearances. And it's not piston slap. Like, pistons are, okay, they're not new, but they're not slappy around, like they're still reasonably good fit in there. So we're backlash on the timing on the generator here. So this is adjustable. Now, I'll make a separate video when I go and attack that, just so we can see it, because there's not a lot of information here. Now, I'm also wondering if you see here, notice a bolt, no bolt, bolt. That's on the both the same, but I don't know if these are something that's missing, if that can be giving me problems or not. So again, there's a bit to find out about it all. But the thing is, at the moment, we got to it before we sludged milk, as in before we got oil in the water. So I'm happy that we found that, and also was not running a thermostat. Now, it's got the proficiency here for a thermostat. Now, when the thermostat housing has a recess like this in here, this edge, it means at some stage, I think it's had a thermostat in it. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. So anyway, we'll find out about that. So that's now. So we're gonna. So this is the exhaust and inlet manifold. Mine's been played with quite a bit. Like, it's got the flappers gone, which is that heat control flap system, which would normally go via here. There is a flap from the dash. You got two. Your choke control, and you've got your hot air bypass. Now, what that is a flap. Don't know if you can see inside there much. Not really. Can we get the torch in there? Anyway, in there is, I would say, there was meant to be some kind of a butterfly system that controls what hot air is kept to heat up the intake manifold runners. And that helps, oh, you can see a bit better there. Yeah, that helps the atomization of the fuel when it's drawn. Because it's an updraft, it's, yeah, pretty primitive. Anyway, so we will clean this up, take the studs out, find out what studs we can get. So the studs are a bit of a drama as well, because we've got a coarse thread. Where are we? A coarse thread on one end on the block, and then a fine thread for getting your torque down, fine thread on the head. So let's hope that this is not some specialist thread, otherwise we have to get them made. But anyway, we'll find out about that. So we've taken one thing at a time here. We're going to get the head taken to the machinist shop today and get it checked. It's not going to be great, I know that for a fact, because if we've got two head gaskets the same, well then we're obviously looking for something. We'll get it acid washed. It's full of crud inside. I'm kind of thinking of taking the side plate off the other side of the motor where the block channels are and looking in it. I just don't want to open up a can of worms. I'm a bit hesitant. Like, the coolant galleries here, everything's very small. Like, you're getting minimal flow through it. And if we've got crud in there like it is now, I would like to just open it up and see what we've got, and just have a poke around in there. Maybe a very light acid wash. I'm a bit hesitant because the blocks, everything's thin as it is. You know, it's 97 years old. We don't want to upset anything, so we'll kind of just work with what we got and see what we can make work, and just get in there with some. Like I said, in here it's not bad, so it should have some flow. It wasn't overheating it whatsoever. Funny enough, even with a blown head gasket, it wasn't throwing water out. It is a atmosphere, so there is no pressure in the system. So inside the radiator and these, there is a little tube there. Now that tube internally runs through the radiator and then comes out. I don't know if you can see a bit of rusty stainy water there, but in there, you can see there's a tube comes out. That's where the tube comes out externally. So that cap, no matter how tight you do it, whatever, it doesn't actually seal off the pressure side, because there is no pressure. They just work at what they call gravity. So as the water expands, it just whatever. So if you fill up your radiator, say for sake, you fill up your radiator every time you go out, and you think, fuck, it's pushing it out all the time. Well, it's not. It finds a level where it copes with, and then what it doesn't use, it throws out, and what it uses, or what it wants to maintain is that level. Now, if you kind of eyeball that level in the radiator, and usually it's about an inch and a half under filler, you will see that that's where it should hang around. So there's no point in filling that radiator up every time, because it's just going to throw it out every time till it finds its own little level, because it's got to have expansion for the heat, and then it's got to draw down again when it cools down. So really simple like this. The biggest thing with these motors is, I'm a mechanic by trade, but the thing you have to remember is keep it simple. Like, this is as simple as it gets. Don't overthink things, and work with cleanliness, and it's look for something visible. They're not a race engine, so as long as everything looks good and you're running a good clean oil in them, then everything should be doing another few years yet. You know, it's gone through worst hell in life, and let's hope it's got some more to go. So, you know, as I say, this car here in particular, it does need work. It's not mint. Camera doesn't do it justice, but it's a runner, or was a runner, I should say. It's tidy, it's drivable, and it's gonna have some fun. So we can make it reliable. I'd rather have an engine reliable. I've cleaned the carb out, and that was just an absolute dog's breakfast as well. And I say the biggest thing to remember on these motors is it works on vacuum to draw up the fuel for the updraft carb. So that means all your gaskets, your sealing faces, your vacuum tube for your fuel pump, everything has to be sealed well. So any problems in running is 9 out of 10 times it's actually a bad gasket that is letting vacuum through. So I actually found most of the problem with this. I put a auxiliary handheld vacuum gauge on it, and it was reading really poor vacuum. Like it was next to nothing at idle. And because we had a vacuum leak, because we've got the cylinder head gasket. Now that could also have been a leaking inlet manifold gasket. It could also have been a carb to manifold gasket leaking, or this copper pipe here. So again, just really look at it. And the easiest way to do it is when the car's running, spray some brake clean carefully without spraying an exhaust. Spray brake clean around the gasket faces, and if the engine picks up speed, if the idle increases, you know you've got a leak. And I'm not a vivid user of RTVs, but on a case like this, I did put a very slight smear when I had it fitted before of liquid gasket. Now it is a high quality Worth gasket, so it's not just your silicone based stuff. This is a reasonable quality, but the worst part of gasket material is when the loose strands of this internally in an engine get inside the engine. That causes disasters. So be very vigilant with it, and only use what you would just microscopically seal, like hair crack sort of things on it. And it also aids in removal of gaskets. Anywho, enough of that. We will get the cylinder head away to the shop and see what happens, and we'll update on the next video what's going to happen.